This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
I went upstairs and saw the defendant and another girl with spoons in their hands slinging paint all over the walls.
With spoons slinging paint all over the walls?
Yes.
This is the plaintiff, Shannon Homa. He says he caught the defendant red-handed in his house, destroying the place. Yep, she and another friend broke in and threw open cans of pink paint onto the walls and on the carpets. The little vandal and her mother refused to pay for the repairs, and he doesn't care how embarrassing it is to be dragged into court. He wants the $2,000 it's going to cost him to make the repairs. These are the defendants, Angela and Monique Baldridge. Angela says her daughter Monique is a straight-A student who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Her friend did all the damage, and the friend should be the one made to pay. She thinks the plaintiff is just trying to cash in on the situation and take advantage of her young daughter, and that's not cool. They're accused of painting the town pink.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Shannon Homa,
Yes.
you are suing Angela Baldridge and Monique Baldridge for $2,000 in damages that you say. Monique, you're the daughter?
Yes.
How old are you?
13.
Damages that you say Monique and a friend did to a home that you were in the process of closing on. Tell me what happened.
My daughter Julian and I were taking a drive, and I stopped by to check on an empty property that I was making an offer on. And
what does making an offer on mean?
Well, I was in the process of buying it.
What does that mean? What part of the process were you in?
To where I've made the offer, and I was waiting for the word for it to be closed.
Okay.
So I would go by the property periodically to check and make sure that nobody was vandalizing it.
Because it was abandoned?
Correct.
All right, go on.
So as I got to the property, I went into the backyard and went to the sliding glass door, and I noticed that on a previous day it was locked. I noticed it opened right up this time. So I went in, and then I had my daughter wait because I wasn't sure why it was open. So I went to the staircase, and I could hear giggling upstairs. So I went upstairs and saw the defendant and another girl with spoons in their hands slinging paint all over the walls.
With spoons slinging paint all over the walls?
Yes.
What kind of paint?
Pink paint.
Pink paint.
Yes.
Okay. What'd you do?
I started to scream quite loudly.
And what'd they do?
They turned around and looked at me and said it wasn't our fault. And
what'd they say? Tell me what they said.
Okay, well,
it's like pulling teeth. I'm dying to know. What did they say? In a minute, I'll be with her.
Right.
But I got to go to you first because I need to hear your story. Tell me what they said. I mean, you caught them red-handed vandalizing the place. So what'd they say?
At first, they said that they were held at knife point by a couple other girls. and that they were forced into this house.
Invisible girls?
Yeah.
Right, and then?
Well, right before I came in, the girls snuck out the back door is what they told me, so.
You think this is funny?
No.
She's 12 or how old are you?
13.
13. So if she laughs, I've got to give her like a little like immature pass, but I don't know about you, Mom. Go ahead.
So, yeah, they were telling me that they were held at knife point and that they were made to open up the cans of paint. And,
right, and then?
Well, I told them that I'm going to call the police, and if they're going to stick to that story, the police are probably going to tear apart their school looking for the people that held them at knife point. And they stuck to the story. They said,
so did you call the police?
I did call the police.
And the police come and question them?
They did.
Did they call the parents?
I called the parents.
How'd you know who the parents were? You asked the girls, give me your parents' names, I'm calling them?
Yes, and it turned out my daughter went to school with the both of them, so.
Your daughter attends the same school that they attend?
Yes.
Oh, I just can't wait.
Yeah.
What happened?
She wanted to go look
Who's she?
My old friend. I'm not friends with her. The friend I was with, she was going to look at houses, and so we were just looking.
She was going to look at houses for what?
Because her parents wanted to buy a house, and so she just wanted to look around, and we were looking through the windows.
You know how that's always happening, how 13-year-olds go house scouting for their parents?
You see that all the time?
All the time. All the time. In fact, that's why I had kids, so they would scout ahead for me. Go on.
And then she wanted to kick down and see the inside.
Kick down what?
The doggy door. And then she kicked, and then...
So in her search for real estate, she kicked down the doggy door. And you had no idea you were vandalizing a house and breaking in, because that's actually breaking and entering. You understand that? That's a burglary. It's a felony. So go on.
And then I followed, and then she went in there, and I was like not thinking, and I went in after her. And then I was downstairs, and then she went upstairs. She found the paint. We opened it, and then I was upstairs, and she was splattering the paint on the walls. And she did most of it, and then
Did you do any of it, Sweet Pea?
Just a little bit, yes.
Just a little bit? Just a little vandalism. What's that among friends? Let me ask you a question. When you're with your 13-year-old friend and she says, let's break into this house, do you stop? Do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Do you stop and call your mom? No. Do you stop and call 911? Mm-hmm. No. You actually go in the doggy door and break in with her. When she goes upstairs and finds the paint, do you stop and say, we can't do this? Do you stop and call your mom? No, you open the paint with her. When she opens up the can, so please stop minimizing your role, because you are every bit as guilty as she is. Every bit as guilty in the eyes of the law. When two people get together, Mom, because I saw your answer to the complaint. Oh, she only had a little paint on her. My daughter only had a little paint on her. What does that mean?
And she did it. I mean, I'm not going to say she wasn't part of it.
You're not going to say that?
I've never said she was not part of it. But compared to how much paint the other girl
My
had
daughter
on her,
was, okay, go ahead, tell me, explain, because I do want to understand that sentence.
Compared to how much paint the other girl had on her compared to my daughter, you can tell who was spattering the paint and who was not. Because the other girl was taking the paint and doing this to the walls.
Maybe your daughter's just a bad aim and getting all the paint on her friend. And maybe her friend's a better aim. Do you ever think of that?
No.
You know what? But that's not the point, Mom.
I know the point.
It doesn't. No, I'm not sure you do. I'm not sure you do. Because if my child was responsible for something like this, you better believe she's getting a paper route. You better believe that it's going to come out of her hide. Okay? It's doable. The amount of damage, the monetary amount that he asked both families for, because the other family paid, yes. Right? The monetary amount he asked both families for is not astronomical. I know it's a big amount, but it's something that she should, if you really want to teach your kid a lesson, you make her work for that money to be able to pay this back. That's what a good mom does, okay? This is unforgivable. It's unforgivable because if she's on this path at this tender age, it can only get worse. Where do you think it's going?
That's the only issue she's ever had. She's a straight A-B student. I mean, I've never had any issues with her. She wants to be a lawyer. She wants to do this, so I let her know.
Did you call the police? Did the police arrest her?
Yeah, they arrested her.
Okay, let me just tell you right now so that you understand, this is going to follow you. even though you're a juvenile, it's going to follow you. Because when you apply to law school, they're going to ask you all kinds of questions that you don't have to legally answer somewhere else. But if it's a private institution you're applying to, they could ask you whatever the heck they want. And you're going to have to explain this breach in character. You get it?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So is this defendant responsible for all of the damage, just what her little girl did, or none of it?
Not all of it, but I would make her have the other friend come in and prove what she did or didn't
But
do.
the other friend isn't in. That's the thing. The other friend isn't in court. Is this mother responsible for all of it? How about that?
I don't think so. I think she should just be responsible just for what her girl's actions are and take care for that.
Interesting. What do you think?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good one. Going inside the courtroom.
Show me the damages. And let's now talk about another issue, which is that you hadn't closed on the house at that point. I can't pretend that's not present here.
Correct.
Correct. So the damage gets done, and what do you do with the bank? Do you have an assignment to sue? In other words, okay, I know you're not a lawyer.
Right.
Okay, but listen to me. This happened at a time when you weren't the owner yet. You're the owner now, and you got to eat it. Okay? But you kind of need the right to sue from the people who were the owners at the time. You didn't get that?
No.
Okay, well, because I believe in justice, and I believe that there should be a result in this case rather than, you know what I mean? I don't want to send you guys home, dismiss the case against you, then you get the assignment, and then you're all in court again. You don't want to be in court again, right? You want this over with today. All right, so I'm going to give you time to get the assignment from the bank.
Okay.
And let me see the damages, because you can't, what you're entitled to is to be made whole, not to redecorate the place, and not to...
Thanks, sir.
Let me see. Good Lord. Were you scared when you got caught? I just want to know that you were scared into never doing anything like this again. That's all I need to know.
Yes.
Because the shame that you should feel that your mother has to be here.
She got in a lot of trouble. I've never had any issues with her, so this was just one thing that just totally... She normally goes out for a walk and goes for a walk and everything and never had any issues.
You know, here's the problem, though.
It was a girl.
The problem is you're being sued also, and you're from California. And in California, there is a specific law making parents responsible for any paint damage their children do. You know, like an anti-graffiti law.
Exactly.
Because they want to know. So there's something special in your state that puts you on the hook as well.
I never once said that she was innocent.
Well, I am... Oh! There's pink paint all over the shower doors. Did this stuff come... I assume that this with cleaning came out on the glass?
It was a lot easier than the floor, yes.
Yeah.
Which I also offered part of the cleaning, helping, stuff like that to both families. And I was unable to reach anybody to really help.
What do you mean
that.
we're not able to reach? I think that would be a marvelous idea, just like that NFL player over in... where all those children vandalized his place, and he said, all right, everybody, come one, come all, purge your souls. Purge your souls, and come... I kind of think he was maybe trying to get the names of all the kids that were there, but still, purge your souls. I'd make my kid be front and center there cleaning that day.
And I did leave it for him.
Why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why? What was the... I don't even see what the fun would be in this.
It wasn't fun at all. I just wasn't thinking that day.
I would feel so bad every time I realized now they got to paint the door, now they got to paint the walls, now they got to change the floors, now they got to... I mean, I would just think, you know, there's somebody out there just like my mom who has a job and whose work is trying to make ends meet, who has to pay bills. I would just feel, I don't know.
I didn't know either, and especially when they came up with the story, or the other girl came up with the story that two other girls held the knife point, and she went along.
That was just so late. I'd be more mad at my daughter for being stupid and coming up with the story. Like, you know, honest to God, I would just look at her and say, geez, you couldn't just say, okay, you got me? Yeah. Have some dignity and go down with dignity.
I don't think I've ever seen her cry as much as she did that day.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. It makes me feel better, actually, because I got to think that something shook her into, you know.
It shook her up.
Jeez.
Believe me.
Show me this is the floor covering. Tell me what this is.
One of the estimates is for the paint and carpet, and then the other receipt is for all the carpet that I did replace. I replaced more than the damage.
Okay, and I'm taking into account, you have to understand something. Obviously, you are not going to get them. Court is about making you whole, not putting you in a better position than what you were in before the bad thing happened. So if you bought a house in a short sale where the carpets were hideous and full of stains, and now you could get the parents to pay for a new carpet, you would not be being made whole. You'd be like, whoa, bonanza! It'd be awesome, right? But that's not how it works. So you understand I have to do some adjustment.
That's why the one estimate's for just damages, and I was trying to be as fair as possible on.
What'd the other family pay?
They paid me $1,800.
Okay, step one is going to be that I'm going to give you 2 weeks to get the assignment from the bank.
Okay.
So did you try and you couldn't get it from him?
I actually I just had a baby, and I've been stressing to
good for you.
Get here.
All right.
So a lot of things, moving into a new house.
Gotcha. I am going to find both the defendant and her mother, based on California law that makes parents responsible as well, liable for $1,500. I am going to give you 2 weeks to come up with the assignment from the bank that gives you where they assign to you the right to sue, so that you don't all have to go through this again in court. And I strongly encourage you, mom to mom. I am the mother of 3 teenage daughters.
I'm the mother of 3. So I got a 20-year-old, a 16-year-old, and my 13-year-old.
All girls?
No, my other 2 are boys.
What are harder to raise, girls or boys?
Girls.
Right.
Boys are just so much easier. I don't make no sense.
I mean, it depends on the kid, obviously.
Girls have all their attitude, everything. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I remember when we found out my 3rd child was another girl, my husband was so happy. I'm like, I've done the math. There are going to be 3 teenagers and a woman in menopause in your house in about 15 years, and your life is not going to be as happy as you look right now.
Well, they're more expensive too, so yeah. I mean, I know how it is.
All right. Well, listen, Missy. You've caused your mama a lot of grief. And I know only one way for you to erase it, and that's figure out a way that you pay her back for this judgment. That means you get a job, you get a paper route, and the money all goes to mom. That's how you cleanse your soul. And that's what you'll fill out in the law school application, so that you don't look as just purely insensitive as you look right now, okay? I hope you learned a lesson. Good luck to you, and let me just say this. Did you have a girl or a boy?
A girl.
Well. As I said, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, hold on, please.
Well, let's see what the defendant has to say coming out of the courtroom here. How embarrassed are you right now?
Very.
So who do you owe an apology to?
Probably the plaintiff.
Well, go ahead. Apologize to him.
I'm sorry.
What about your mom?
Sorry.
So what have you learned?
Not to do anything like that again.
Okay, thanks. All right, right down this way. All right, so come on in here. You satisfied how this is working out?
I am satisfied. I think it's a fair judgment, and I just think she needs to learn a lesson,
Well, she just turned to you and apologized. Do you accept that?
Absolutely, yeah. I hope that my daughter and her can be friends, and maybe not real close friends, but at least be tolerable to each other, and she can accept her.
Judge gave you some homework. Get the assignment?
Yes.
You're on your way to do that?
Correct.
Over to Harvey.
So the plaintiff did the assignment from the judge and got the judgment from Judge Milian. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Carolyn Martin. She says she came home from work one night, parked her Chevy Trailblazer where she always parks it, and her neighbor, the defendant, had it towed. The grumpy woman with nothing better to do complained she had parked in an assigned spot, but there are no assigned spots in her apartment complex. Her medication was in that car, and her life could have been in jeopardy if she didn't have extra in her house. She's suing her nasty neighbor for $1,500 for lost work, tow charges, and pain and suffering. This is the defendant, Robin. She says this whole lawsuit's just ridiculous because they do in fact have assigned spots at their complex, and the plaintiff was parked in hers. She called the management office who instructed her to call a tow company, and that's just what she did. Bottom line, the woman has no case, and the judge will throw it out of court, bang the gavel, and send the troublemaking plaintiff on her way with nothing. She's accused of causing a neighborly feud.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff is pissed. The defendant had her Chevy Trailblazer towed from the apartment's parking spot, but the defendant says it was her spot. So tough. It's the case of park it here. No, don't.
Thank you, Douglas. Carolyn Martin, you are suing Robin, you've asked us not to mention your last name, for $1,500 because she caused you to get towed. Tell me what happened here.
Well, I came home from work one day. Actually, I was going through a lot of testing. I have problems with the diabetes, and my sugar level was quite irregular. So I've been having quite a few complications. So they gave me medication, but that was just while I was there. So when I came home, on the way home, I was very delirious. So I says, well, let me just park anywhere where I could find a spot, because there were no spots available at the time.
So you parked in her space?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's her space because I've always parked there.
In that space, you've always parked there?
For 2 years, yes. I've always parked there when there's no more spots available.
Okay, is it her space or isn't it?
No, there's no parking. There's no assigned parking.
Oh, there's no assigned parking in the building?
No, and it's in my lease where it says no assigned parking.
Okay, you have a very different version, right?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And what is your different version?
On November 20th, I received a notice from management. They had assigned.
November 20th of what year?
2012.
Okay.
They had assigned parking. They painted all 16 spaces in front of my building with the apartment numbers, and I have pictures with my space painted and all the other ones.
Okay, do you live in the same building she lives in?
No.
So why are you parking there at all?
There were no more parking spots. That lot
So it's
is
in front of her building?
It's not just in front of her building. If you look at, I can show you a diagram. That would be a lot easier.
No, I'd rather see a picture. You have a picture?
Yeah.
Let me see a picture. And let me see the letter you say you got from management. Was it only addressed to your building?
Yeah,
no, it's to attention residents.
So it's to, there's more than one building, and it was to every resident?
Yes.
Attention residents, the assigned parking spaces have been painted, so there should be no further confusion regarding which space belongs to you or your neighbor. Please park in your assigned space only. You can also use a circle, but not during poor weather. All vehicles not abiding by these rules will be subjected to towing. Blah, 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 the management. Okay? What is this a picture of?
I parked, see the aisle behind, right where your hand is? Exactly. That's where I parked.
Okay, but there's not even parking spaces there, so that can't be, that's not even marked spaces.
I took the picture at the time, I guess, maybe before they put those signs down. I
well,
wasn't
let me see.
aware
You've
of that
got pictures
letter.
of everything painted, and the date is before this happened, because you got towed when? April 4th of 2013. Mm-hmm. So that's
This
6
is
months
a
after they
picture
claimed
of
to
the-
have painted
the lot.
it.
Yeah.
That's her lot.
I never received that letter.
That's different from what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you never received that letter.
Right.
That's because this isn't your building. But what I am telling you is that in this letter, they are claiming to have painted it back when? November 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And her picture has, of course, the numbers painted on the floor, so there should be absolutely no confusion. The picture you have taken is of a sign that says Adam Thorogood. Does that sound like the name of your building?
It's possible, yes.
Possible.
But those,
Well, you live there. You see that thing in your face every day? You don't know? Okay.
I know, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That picture, though, I'm not really sure. Here's another picture of me from my car, and I'm
Here's what I
headed-
don't understand. What would, if the thing's not marked, what would give the tow company a right to tow? I mean, you call the tow company because you see somebody in your space.
And it is, well, here's...
Had she repeatedly parked in your space before?
No.
Did you just
No,
see
no
somebody in your space, so you called who, the management or the tow company?
I first knocked on her door. And at that point, the talking inside of the apartment silenced. The television was silenced. No one answered. I went back home. I called the police department. They said it's private property. We cannot tow. I called the management company. They were closed. They said, follow the notice that you received. Call the tow truck company of your choosing. And that's what I did.
Well, Your Honor, what I find to be very confusing is she says she called management. Of course, I called
That she
management.
says what?
She called management. And she asked, what do I do about someone parking in my spot?
No, she said she called management and nobody called. And nobody answered.
Well, she got the okay through management to tow the car.
Wait, just a moment. Did you say you got the okay through management to tow the car?
I said that I called management. They were closed. The answering service said, follow the notice that you have.
The answering service is an answering service. That's it. She doesn't say she had management's authority. The question is, does she have any authority? I have one question in my mind. Were the spaces painted or weren't they? When you say to me, when you go into all of the detail you went through about how loopy you were, you know, it sounds like you're trying to apologize for taking someone's space. So I'm just thrown for a loop how it is.
And that's what I'm getting ready to say. When I called management and actually spoke to a person, of course it's now in the morning, and I told them about the whole ordeal, and they said, well, we're very sorry, we have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, they don't want to get into it. They don't want you to sue them.
But I said the problem is that you guys said that there's no assigned apartment, no assigned parking. And she says, yes. So I said, does that apply to me or to company? And they said, that applies to company. I said, so I can park anywhere on the complex.
Do you have
And
any
she
proof of
said,
everything
yes.
you're saying?
Only in my lease. She said, your lease stays the same.
Okay, let me just see your lease. Although your lease wouldn't, you know, whatever. Let me see what you're saying, talking about in your lease.
Yeah,
Do you have any
so-
proof from management that there's no assigned parking? That's what I'm asking. You're telling me hearsay. Management told me there was no assigned parking. I'm looking at it and there's assigned parking. And I'm looking at management. So I need proof of what you're saying, which is management told you there's no assigned parking.
Yeah, and she just says, look at your lease because nothing's changed.
She didn't say that because there's this and there's this. So I know she didn't say that because she couldn't have told you, oh, don't worry, there's no assigned parking.
That's
I know
exactly
that
what she
management
said.
sent out this saying there should be no further problems because we assigned parking and we painted it. And I see that they painted it. So there's no way somebody told you,
Oh, yes,
park
they
wherever
did.
you want.
Yeah,
I know
they
that
did.
didn't happen.
Yeah, it really did happen
Okay.
exactly that way. And here's the lease. And, she
And why
did
aren't you
say,
just
look
suing
at
for the tow? Why are you suing for $1,500?
Yeah, that's because of all the, you know, aggravation and, you know, now I'm had to take more medication. I was just aggravated the whole thing, and I lost all my time from work. So
Where did you say that I would look at your lease and see that you could park anywhere you want?
Well, in there, that's pretty much what my landlord said that.
Okay,
it's-
so I cannot look at your lease and see that that there's no assigned parking spaces, right?
Well, it doesn't say anything about assigned parking.
Okay. Court's in recess.
So if two people live in an apartment, can one person have the other person's car towed if they're parking in your space?
I think so. I think it's okay to tow the car because it is her friend's parking space.
Fair enough. I mean, do you think it's legal to do? You both have a right to live in that building.
Well, sorry. I think, you know, they should work it out between them two before.
That ain't gonna happen now. Okay, that ship has sailed. Can you tow the car?
Yes, I think so. Because it's your property, it's your space, you're assigned to it, so it belongs to you.
Good luck living there, going inside the courtroom.
Let me ask you something, because I can understand how somebody would be angry that a neighbor had them towed, that they weren't neighborly. I can understand that. I can't understand how you would look me in the eye and bold-face perjure yourself over $100 and something tow fee and call it a $1,500 lawsuit. I just spoke to your management company. Number one, the picture you took is not of the building she lives in, okay? It's nowhere near the building she lives in. Not only that, They have a specific recollection of speaking to you after your tow, and not only did they never tell you you can park wherever you want, but they say you are a bold-faced liar when you say that it wasn't marked. So not only are you lying about it, which makes sense since you walked in here explaining how disoriented you were. Oh, you know, it was kind of disoriented. I've been to the doctor. Medicine really affects me. You know, which I don't know why you're saying all this to me other than to explain how you mistakenly parked in someone else's space that was marked, but okay. They say they spoke to you, and it was absolutely marked, and that was your discussion, which was, well, it's not fair that some people get to have marked spaces, but other people don't. And that's exactly, coincidentally, what you wrote in the pictures. Okay? So you pawn off the wrong picture that's not marked, and then in other pictures you circle and say it's discrimination. So you waste my time, his time, and her time. You're right. I'm going to bang that gavel, and you're going to be out of here. Verdict for the defendant.
Oh my, here comes the plaintiff, and what just happened?
That's terrible. I felt she was very rude to me, to be a judge, not to take in all the evidence. It was clear that when I came home, we've always been able to park there. I will call management because management told me, go according to your lease. There is no assigned parking. Otherwise, I wouldn't have came here. She did not knock on my door.
You didn't expect the judge to call management and get the real story on you, did you?
Yes, I wanted her to, because the real story is that you can park there. There is no assigned parking. I don't know what
What, is she hearing things?
I don't know what transpired.
Okay.
I'll find out.
All right, you head right around the corner this way. And all right, you come on in here and step in. You stand right next to her, okay? What's your feeling on this here?
I had no doubt at all that I would win this case.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, it's ridiculous. As a judge said, it was a waste of time. But
why would she do this to you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. She said she got home at 5:30.
Did you need to go through the towing and all that? Did you need to do that?
I did, because I knocked on her door. And they silenced the television, and you know, so I think that she purposely parked there.
See what Harvey has.
By the way, there are laws about when you can tow a car, by the way, and they vary from state to state. So you should probably check that and make sure you know the law before you do it. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and Auto Camp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This is the plaintiff, Kalila McElroy. She says her landlord sold the building she was living in, and when she left, she asked the new owner, the defendant, to return her security. The defendant's coming up with every excuse in the book not to pay her what he owes, and that's not fair. She left the place in pristine condition. The defendant doesn't have a leg to stand on, and she's suing the louse for the $1,800 she's owed. This is the defendant, Neil Patel. He says the building he bought was in foreclosure, and the landlord didn't turn over any money to him when the deal was complete. He didn't give the plaintiff back her security when she moved out because there was no security to give. Unfortunately, the plaintiff needs to go after her former landlord because he's the one who took off with her loot. He's accused of not having any money. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for garbage removal and rent.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff lived in an apartment building. The owner sold the building, and the new owner won't give her security back. But the defendant says the old landlord never gave him the plaintiff's security, so she should go after him. It's the case of you make me feel insecure.
Kalila McElroy, you are suing 180-180 21st Street LLC, represented here by Neil Patel. You are what to that corporation?
I'm the attorney and also a managing member of 180.
Okay. And you have authority by the owners to be here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You're suing them for $1,800, a security deposit that you paid when you first moved into the building and that you were not paid when you left the building. You have a counterclaim against her for $2,000, $800 for garbage disposal, and $1,200 for April rent. Okay, let me talk to you first. What's going on?
All right. I moved in the building on January the 7th, 2012. Now, prior to that, I was still residing in the building. They took over the property. So I had to, because I have assistants, so they had to, notify them of the owner who had the owner. They told me that I didn't have any security money.
Who said that?
Neil Patel office.
Okay, hold on one second. How long have you been living in that building?
A year.
Okay, but you said prior to that I was living in that building, so I'm not understanding.
I apologize.
Okay.
Prior to them taking over the property.
You were already there?
Yes.
Okay, when did you folks take over the property?
We took over in July, Your Honor.
Of what year?
2012.
Okay, so you have been living in the building since January 7th of 2012.
Yes.
They take over the building, and when you take over, you bought it because it was being foreclosed upon.
No, Your Honor, it was a deed in lieu of foreclosure. So
I don't know what that means.
Basically, the deed was transferred to us because they didn't want to be foreclosed on. They didn't want
but
to
who'd you buy
money.
it from?
We didn't buy it. The deed was already a mortgage property. So because the mortgage.
Yeah, are you a bank?
Yeah.
So you are the financiers for the person who bought it.
Yeah.
In 2010.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you now are.
The new owners we were essentially at that point.
But why were you the new owners?
Because the deed was given over to us, handed over to us.
And then while you are the new owners and have a deed, the guy who you are letting run the place takes a security deposit from her.
We didn't get the security deposit was never transferred to us. And second, when we spoke to the old landlord informed us that she had already used it up in backhold rent, which she didn't owe.
You'll have to prove that because she denies that. And if you were a Section 8 client, so Section 8 was paying her rent. So
she was paying. They were paying portions of it. They weren't paying a full rent.
Right. Okay. But I need you to do more than flap your gums, counselor. I need you to prove what you're saying.
Okay. I have here the fact that she signed a document which shows she had $0 security, and she didn't sign this once. She signed this twice.
Okay. Let me see that. Do you deny that you signed this?
No, I did sign it because
hold on one second. And it says, for the benefit of all parties hereto, we fully and completely rescind forever the lease which was executed between the parties, and that a refund to the tenant of the tenant's security deposit will be made by landlord owner within 30 days of the date the tenant vacates said premises. The refund shall be in the amount of $0.
Yes.
Plus interest on deposit. Okay, that would seem to indicate you might have lived out your security, and so you didn't really think you had an entitlement to it.
That's not true.
And there are 2 times that you signed that, in December and in February when you left. Why is there another one in February?
So she signed one in December saying she was going to leave in January, but then she changed her mind. She overstayed, and then she said, "I'm leaving. I need another one executed." So
wait, you needed another. Why did you need another one executed? Oh, because it says the dates that you're going to leave.
Yeah,
they were still getting paid.
Okay, but I don't know. We're not talking about rent. We'll talk about rent in a second. Okay. Twice you signed something that said you're owed $0 security deposit. So did you live out your security deposit?
I sure didn't, ma'am.
So then why did you sign something not once but twice that says you're entitled to $0 refund from the security deposit?
Because with Section 8 guidelines, that's what I have to do. I had to notify them and let them know that I was
This has nothing to do with Section 8. This is between you and them. Documents you keep signing for them. That you could let them know you're leaving on such and such a date and comply with Section 8 and put here I'm owed $1,800 over here.
Yes, but Your Honor, when I first signed it, it didn't have a 0 because my Section 8 worker can agree with me.
Well, then why wouldn't it have an 1,800?
Maybe he did that after the fact because I still
It doesn't look tampered with. I'm pretty good at figuring out things that are tampered with, but why don't you just show me your copy that says 1,800? That's how people do that.
Not a problem.
Okay, do Section 8 tenants try to get over on landlords and do more damage than people who pay full rent?
I think that sometimes the more people are given for free, the more they're going to want to take. So absolutely.
What do you think, sir?
I think it just depends on the circumstances of the tenants.
So you won't give me an answer, will you? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes or no?
There is.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
I don't have a.
Going inside the courtroom.
You have 2 of these where you said 1,800?
Oh no, I have my original receipt.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't have original.
All right, now you have a counterclaim against her for April rent. Why?
So she claims she moved out March 31st. She didn't give us the keys back until we chased it down to April 10. So because we still didn't have possession, April's rent was owed. Housing authority.
I don't understand. Why didn't you just give them the keys? Why wasn't there a walkthrough? Why wasn't something?
We're not contacted.
Not thank you. Why didn't you arrange it so that? Why didn't everybody arrange it? Not just him.
Yeah.
You
Right.
too.
They knew that I was moving out on the 31st. I called them. Neil been in court for like 2 days prior to me moving. The Friday
with
before,
each other?
No, I had called the law office to let him know that I was moving out on the 31st.
So you know where his law office is. Why don't you just drop the
I
keys
have
up
the
there?
number. It's in New York. I don't know exactly where it's at. It's located in New York. So
how did you get it to them on April 10th?
They came to my new apartment and picked it up from me.
We had to chase her down to get the keys
Or you
back.
could have gone to a locksmith.
But Your Honor, we didn't know before.
Well, the locksmith would be less than $1,200, right?
But she had told us prior that she was moving out, and she didn't. So we weren't sure.
Or you could knock on the door, see if she's out, talk to her, and find out that she's out because you figured out that she was out sometime before April 10th. If you actually drove on April 10th to her place.
Yes, this is.
Do you have any correspondence, texts, or phone messages or anything between you two, between March 31st and April, whatever?
No, because I lost my phone prior.
Did you
to
end
that.
up getting April rent from Section 8?
Yes, Your Honor. So what happened?
So then
was,
why are you suing her for April rent?
Because I've got an email here from Housing Authority. They're going to be bringing suit against us, and they want their money returned.
But did you explain to them that you didn't get the keys?
Yeah, we
Okay.
explained. They said that because.
So that's probably not going to happen. What's the $800 for garbage disposal?
The $800 for garbage disposal was basically mess she left. She trashed the place.
Okay, I need pictures. Do you have pictures?
I do not. I have an affidavit from the owner to state that when they left, the place was trashed and there was garbage in it.
That's not how it works. The way you prove that is you take, as you know, is you take pictures, right?
Yes, yeah.
How many years have you been practicing law?
2 years, Your Honor.
And where'd you go to law school?
Hofstra.
You're very good. All right. First of all, on your security deposit.
Yes.
There are two problems that you have. One of them is that they have a very good argument that they are lien holders and there's laws that protect them. If they didn't get security deposits, they don't have to pay security deposits. In your case, I don't even have to get to that complicated law because I've got two places where you swear you're not owed a security deposit. And there's a consequence to that. And then you look at me and say, well, he probably forged it. But you don't have evidence of that, and you don't have a single form where that didn't say that. Where it said 1,800 is what you're due. You don't have anything that says
I have my original receipt.
that. You're not listening. His premise is that it was eaten up in rent that you didn't pay or that the other guy didn't get paid. That it was eaten up because the truth of the matter is your lease has, she's supposed to be paying what?
$1,200.
It's always $1,200 and Section 8 was always paying it?
No, they weren't paying the full amount. Always.
They weren't paying the full amount before, but then they started to pay the full amount.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so that's your claim against them, 0. Now, on your counterclaim against her, as for the garbage disposal, we've been over that, 0. And as for April rent, that's a little trickier. However, it looks to me like really neither side made much of an effort to pick up any keys at all. And if you're busy in court, I don't expect you to be the guy fetching keys, but I expect some plan to be in place. And if you want to pin it on her, I want to hear that you had a plan, the plan was in place, and the plan wasn't respected. None of that happens. I'm not going to pin that on her because neither side bothered to be in a big fat rush about it. So on your claim against them, 0 for the reasons I've reviewed. And on your claim against her, 0 as well. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
0 and 0, nothing on the plaintiff's side as you come out of here empty-handed. What's your comment on this case? How
we just got to watch out for these slum laws that's going on in New Jersey.
Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Is that what we just witnessed here?
Yes.
In your opinion? Well, you did sign all those documents and everything that indicated
Yeah,
you weren't
I did.
entitled to that money.
Yeah, I did.
All right, then. Head right around the corner this way. All right, come on in here. Satisfied how this comes out?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. I mean, I would ideally have liked to keep the $1,200 for the rent as well, but, we take a loss on some of these tenants. They're not good tenants, some of them, so.
The judge said you did a pretty good job in there, counselor. How'd
Thank you
that
very
feel,
much.
hearing that from the
It
judge?
felt great. I got to, say hello to all my friends in London and TJB Law
This is
as
not
well.
shout-out time. I'm just asking you if you appreciated the compliment you got. You may have just lost it. Harvey?
If this happens to you, protect yourself. Send an email to the old landlord and the new one saying they have your security.